So round two, good performance so far from Chris Eubank Jr. But just a couple of signs that Jason Ball's right hand could prove threatening.
See, right now I have Chris Eubank down as a good solid puncher. I haven't seen anything just yet in this last fight or this fight to to change that. This might be a wee bit premature, but to me he looks like he's not a one KO knockout guy, a one punch KO knockout guy. He's a good solid puncher right now. Maybe as he progresses in professional boxing, that might change, but he just doesn't look as if he's a really powerful. That's taking nothing away from him. What you can see here, he's a good solid puncher, but sometimes you see guys and they're a KO specialist, like his father was, but just doesn't seem to that same power.
He threw a couple of extravagant shots there and then landed a good left hook, certainly keeping Jason Ball at range so far here. Decent shot as well from Eubank there. Ball is looking for that right hand over the top. Plenty of reason for Eubank to be watchful here.
Well, as you can see, like what Eubank's doing here, everything's going at a nice, comfortable pace for Eubank. That's just left jab, left uppercut, left hook. That's the punches that Eubank's throwing. They're getting through. But I think Ball is just being a wee bit too negative here. He wants to try now and try and offload a few more punches of his own and take some of the play away from Eubank.
Yeah, there's no question who's dominating. Looks the stronger man in there, if not with enormous power. Just see Junior on the back of the shorts as well. They've got the image sorted out, haven't they? But he has to keep delivering in the ring. Because if ever a sport finds you out, it's this one. And he's doing that so far. Again, the redness on the face of Jason Ball. Good movement there from Eubank Jr.
What I would like to see Eubank doing here is he's throwing too many single shots here, like the left, the right comes over on its own. He wants to try and throw like combination punches, like 3 and 4 and 5 punches, at a time. That's what he wants to try and do, but he's not doing that. And it's okay, he's getting away with it in here right now, but if you want to have great success, you have to let them go in clusters, like 2, 3, 4, and sometimes 5 and 6.
Well, we can hear now from Joe Tidy, who is with Chris Eubank Sr.
Chris, you pleased so far?
Yeah, nothing to be unpleased about. I mean, it's a work of an art. It's a work of art.
Is this the sort of fight you're expecting?
I suppose so, yes. Yeah, I expected Jason to actually be coming forward a little bit more, but no, it's good. He's pacing himself right, and the jab's working, and he'll pick up his experience by using his jab. And I think now he'll start letting go some punches.
Corners, 10 seconds. Set out. Round 3.
Well, Dad seems pretty happy so far. Let's see if Son can really start to turn it on here in round 3.
Well, now that Jason Ball, he's come out here all guns blazing, letting punches go here, left hooks, right hands. It's beginning now to warm up.
Well, as Ball gets more open here, then of course he takes risks and he leaves gaps, and he gives Eubank a chance of potentially taking him out here. Fight has just gone up a level in this third round.
see, this is where Eubank Jr. should be. Like, he should be letting the punches flow here. He was in range there, but he didn't throw any. You know, he was within like 5 inches of hitting the guy, and he just sort of held back. He should have let 3 or 4 punches go there. I would just love to see him throwing like 4 and 5 punch combinations, because he's fighting Ball here. Ball's being a wee bit too negative, and it gives Eubank the chance then, you know, to experiment and do things like that. But even Eubank himself, you know, is being slightly negative by the way he seems to be comfortable throwing out 1 and 2 shots at a time, which in professional boxing you have to up that. You have to throw them in combinations, especially when you get a good opportunity against somebody like Jason Ball, who's there, you know, and standing there right in front of you.
Well, Ball just had a little bit more success there, although despite the lack of volume, Eubank is still the man who's clearly winning the fight. You should remember that these are just baby steps along the way. Point we keep making, but particularly for those of you who are new to the sport, it's certainly a point worth making. Things that were impressive about Chris Eubank Jr. on his debut are still impressive here. The hand speed is really, really good. And he's a thoughtful fighter as well.
You know, we're seeing some like Eubank is being a wee bit more assertive now. You're seeing him now throwing left hooks and right hand. Like, he's throwing 2 and 3 and 4 punch combinations, but you have to see that all the time, because with a guy like Jason Ball standing there right in front of you, he's easy to hit, and Eubank just wants to hit him. But this is good stuff now. You know, we need to see more of this, because you know what this does? This improves a fighter. You see, throwing 1-shot combinations, no use. You have to throw them in clusters.
Well, he made Ball miss there, and it's an impressive round that from Chris Eubank Jr. The words again from Ronnie Davis here in the Eubank corner.
Turn him into them left uppercuts.
If I was Ronnie Davis, I would be saying, listen, get out there,
bring him up,
throw 3 and 4 and 5 short punches. Don't be doing this 1 punch here, 1 punch there, 1 uppercut. Let them go in combinations of at least 4, because Ball is there, and I'm not saying he's easy to hit, but he's standing right in front of him, and there's only about 4 or 5 inches between them, so therefore let them go the way they are now. Like, you think that was a good round. He was throwing combinations, he was throwing 4 and 5 shots at a time, and he had good success. You want to keep that up.
Seconds out. Round 4.
Well, he has been sparring George Groves, and rumours as well that he's even been in with David Haye, Chris Eubank Jr. So there's clearly quality there. Stories from the gym were that he did pretty well against George Groves as well. And there's a lot to like about him and about this performance. Is it enough at this stage in his career just to keep winning, Dave McCauley?
But it's very, at this stage right now, what's being done for him is they're looking after him. Right, they're not going to match him with anybody that's going to come in there and carry his head off. That would be suicide. But right now they're nurturing him through the early part of his career, which they do with a lot of fighters. He's up against Jason Ball here. He's not a bad fighter. You know, he's not a devastating puncher. And he's not going to carry Chris Eubank's head off with 1 shot. So what they're doing it right. You know, they're feeding him through slowly, and that's the proper way to do it. There's no point in putting him in with somebody who's as good or maybe even better than what he is at this stage, because that would be wrong.
Forward he comes again, trying to throw to the body and then to the head, just mixing it up a little bit. Not really seen the combinations that you wanted to see. Ball is still very much in there.
You know, like, he has a lot to live up to, this young man. Like, his father was flamboyant in the ring and out of the ring. His father was a a world champion. Like, this young guy has a long way to go now, and I think to make comparisons, maybe like we have been doing, you know, in his previous fight, is wrong, because it's the very early stages for him, and who knows how he's going to pan out in 4 or 5 or 6 more fights time.
The ball coming forward here in this 4th round, and he's certainly more active than Eubank's first opponent, that's for sure. Former cage fighter Jason Ball certainly knows how to scrap. Won't be really fazed by anything that he sees, and certainly won't be fazed by any of the posturing either.
Well, right now, like, Eubank hasn't landed a really good, decent shot. He hasn't landed a punch that has hurt Ball at all. You know, and I think at this stage, young Eubank here, like, should be this. In my eyes, this, he's not struggling here. That's the wrong word, but he's making this slightly hard work of Jason Ball here. You know, if we have the aspirations for young Eubank that everybody seems to think that they have, you know, he should be getting through this okay, you know, and in my eyes, it's slightly hard work for him here.
Yeah, labouring a little might just be the right word.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Just couldn't get it.
It's good. Don't when you stand here. You got for a few jabs there. Don't just stand
Bad
there.
still sits
shove him with a jab. Don't
at
just stay
ringside
there.
alongside
Shove through him and then like
promoter
that.
Mick Hennessy and Tyson Fury as well.
That's good, yeah. Come on. He's got no right hand, Jay, hasn't
Plenty
he?
of excitement around Chris Eubank Jr. And there are little flashes of what there is to be excited about, Dave.
Yes, like, when he lets the punches go, he looks good and he looks classy. But unfortunately, in this fight, the punches are being thrown in ones and sometimes twos, which, you know, doesn't achieve much. You know, it scores the odd point, but you like to see, you know, flashes of brilliance here. And when he lets the combinations go, he looks pretty good, but he hasn't been doing that often enough.
Penultimate round then for Chris Eubank Jr. Is the second pro appearance going to have a dramatic ending? Jason Ball coming forward and throwing a right hand and connecting with a couple as well. Suddenly Eubank Jr. has to work it. Complete change of attitude by Jason Ball. I think he caught him by surprise there, rushed out of the corner. Good response though from Eubank Jr. with that left hook. But that suddenly pushed the temperature in the room up.
The thing is now, Jason Ball's taking his foot off the gas. He's not trying to capitalise on that little bit of success that he had there. He threw a few good shots. He slightly hurt young Eubank, but didn't do a big lot of damage. But it's the sort of pressure that young Eubank's not used to.
Yeah, right uppercut there from Jason Ball as well. Response from Eubank with the left hand. Ball backing up Chris Eubank Jr. here. I have to say I can see his father and there's a look of calmness on his face. He really has seen it all before. But he's watching his son, who told him at the age of 16 that he wanted to be a fighter too. And Chris Eubank Sr. said he wasn't particularly happy when he heard those words. Again, Ball just backing up Eubank here.
And this is the most success that Ball's had during the whole fight, and you know, he's pushing forward, you know, he's throwing plenty of shots and is beginning to fluster Eubank. So therefore, if Ball had adopted these tactics in the previous rounds, who knows what may have happened. But at this moment right now, like, Ball's having very good success, but he wants to keep doing this, keep coming forward. I know they're tired, but it hasn't really been an absorbing 4 previous rounds. You know, it's so they should have loads left in the tank.
That was a good body shot there from Eubank with the left hand. You could see that really shook Ball. Pops out the jab a couple of times as well. Does he still have the energy to keep this approach going in the final round here, Ball? One thing that is impressive about Eubank is the conditioning. Certainly not going to struggle to go the 6 here. Wonder if Ball just blowing a little. He has had some success in this round. It's all about learning lessons for Chris Eubank Jr. He certainly learned some in round 5.
Well, these are the sort of fights that you need when you're on your way up, because if you're going to knock guys out in 1 or 2 rounds, you learn nothing.
I wonder what he's thinking.
What?
Now again, I always wonder what Chris Eubank is thinking.
Okay, mate, that's fine.
I'm sure anyone knows but him. But here's some of the action, David. It was really interesting stuff.
Good stuff from Bull. As I said, it's the best success he's had the whole way through the fight. If he'd adopted these tactics in the earlier rounds, who knows what could have happened. But he piled the pressure on. He caught young Eubank with quite a good few shots there. Didn't do any real big damage, but he made young Eubank just sit up and say, what's going on here? This isn't all going my own way.
Nice and calm, but pick every shot. Pick every shot. Go on, Chris.
Now, words of encouragement from Ronnie Davis there ahead of this final round.
Seconds out. 6th and final round.
Jason Ball's already on his feet. Is he going to come rushing out again here, Jason Ball, and try and cause a huge upset? He'll see it as exposure on national television for him as well. Show what he can do. Again, Ball goes chasing Eubank. There's no great power, but he caught him with a right again.
And looking at the way that Eubank delivers his own punches here, I don't think he's got the power that the Fowler had when he's letting these shots go. As I said earlier on, they're good solid shots, but they're not KO shots. And I think for Eubank to knock you out, he's going to have to hit you with 2 or 3 good shots in the trot. I don't think he'll be able to take you out with 1 punch.
Ball had a little bit of success again there that had his corner excited. And Eubank swinging that big left hand, just losing his discipline, missed by a long, long way. Does look a little bit flustered and, dare I say, a little bit tired as well. Chris Eubank Jr. here.
Well, this is a good fight for Chris Eubank Jr. because this lets him know what professional boxing is all about. You know that it's a hard way through life, and if you want to be the best, from here on it just gets harder and harder and harder.
Yeah, he's finding out a lot about himself tonight. More posturing there from Chris Eubank Jr. A lot of people are watching this career very, very closely, and they will have picked holes in it, I'm sure, this performance. But if you see it from the point of view of learning and then improving, as Dave was suggesting, maybe it's no bad thing.
No, because there's no point, Dave, of coming in here into the ring and knocking guys out in 1 round or 2 round or stopping guys. You have to learn it, and what's happening here is he's learning from this, because he's learning what it's like to be put under pressure the way Paul's doing right now. You know, and he knows now that this isn't an easy game.
Eubank has gone dangerously low a couple of times as well. Ball again having more success as we go into the final 20 seconds of the fight. I think the plan was quite for Chris Eubank Jr. to end his second professional fight, backed up into the corner. He's trying to finish with a flourish, but he's not really being allowed to here. Finishes with a left hand, and there is the final belt. The arm of Chris Eubank Jr. is raised, of course it is. Well, what did you make of that, Dave?